right. All right, man. What is up, man? What's up, everybody? Welcome to LTG Podcast, aka Let's Talk Games Podcast. I'm your host, the best spot Kid Smooth, and the co-host, the notorious DRE. What is up?
What's up? What's going on, man?
Oh, man. Good, man. How was your week?
My week has been good, man, and today got even better. Me and my wife sold our house today, so that's all, man. I'm in good spirits right now.
That's awesome, dude.
So
that's awesome. Selling out that's what we. That's a payday you look forward to. Like, I'm still looking forward to tax day, right? Selling the house.
Yeah.
I had a close friend who recently sold the house, and I can imagine what that that feels like. So that happened fairly quick. You are you still in the place?
Okay, so I kind of lied a little bit. So we took an offer on our house, which is sort of kind of in the same as selling a house, but
absolutely.
we took an offer on the crib.
Okay,
and now we just gotta wait until the closing date, which is hopefully in March. So
okay, cool.
Yeah,
but you were all right. So you were your house was on the market. You were in the process of building a new home while you're also transitioning to a temporary place until that new home is built, right?
Right, correct.
So that you got so much shit going on, and you got time to play games. Man. You got time to play games and do this podcast. And do this podcast. That's
today's a chill day,
man. Yeah. I'm like, how do you have time for that?
Yeah, everything is good though.
That's what's.
How about yourself, though, man?
Man. Well, I'm healthy.
Yeah, it's always a good thing.
That's a good thing. I found out I lost an old coworker to COVID. And, God rest his soul.
Sorry to hear that.
Was tough to hear, but just pushing. I mean, getting through some video games. It's funny. I think I kind of lied when I said last week I wasn't really playing much. I did get through a couple games, and one of them obviously we're going to talk about, but
Yeah, I seen your list, man. You caught a little bit of heat, man. Catching some bullets here and there. Man.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's early in the year. Nobody else. I mean, who else? A lot of these dudes gonna make fun of me because their list is as long as mine during this early in this year. So I figured this way: if I took a little bit of your advice, I've been playing tackling games that has a beginning and an end, and I've been trying to do one thing at a time, right? And I've been deleting them as I've been finishing them, right? So I'm trying to going forward. It's like I'm trying to operate without a backlog. Yeah, there are some games, of course, I go years back. They're like, do I really want to continue on with this? Should I re-download this and beat this and add to the list? Maybe not.
Right.
But dude, so a lot of the things on the list people are laughing at, which is fine. Some of those games were low key, kind of low key cool though. Like Jumanji, I didn't expect to be. I enjoy playing it. Fast and Furious.
Is Jumanji based off the
movie,
the new joint? Word. Oh, I didn't even know they had a game.
Yeah. Dr. Bravestone. That's what's his name. That you know what I mean?
Something like that.
And Kevin Hart's characters in there. Yeah, it's a cool little game. It's a cool little game, right?
I didn't even know that.
I did Little Hope, Dark Pictures Little Hope. The Supermassive games. They had ever since they so their big game that everybody likes is Until Dawn, right? So Until Dawn, that was kind of their this is these guys is they're great. So they signed a deal with Bandai Namco to make a trilogy of anthology games of all horror games. The first one was Man of Medan, which was last year. 2019 was Man of Medan. I'm sorry, and then it was, to me honestly, it was mid. It had Shawn Ashmore was the leading actor. This game was Little Hope, and the lead actor was the dude from I guess Maze Runner or some shit like that.
I know who that is. Yeah, I know who that is.
This game, man. Yeah, what made this game? You know how we discussed last week? We don't do horror games like that.
Right.
What got me through this is because their last two, Man of Medan was co-op. You can play the entire thing co-op, right? So that takes the edge off a little bit, right? When you got somebody in your ear, y'all talking like, "Hey, shit, what should I do?" Da da da. You giggling and shit. It takes the edge off a little bit. So now, only thing that can really scare you at this point is jump scares. So the game has like a lot of jump scares, but they eventually get old once you know what's going on. Most disappointing game I've played from them, honestly. It's like,
so does it play? Does it play like a Until Dawn game? Like, does it play like Until Dawn? I mean,
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Plays like Until Dawn, but not as polished or as crisp, or as something's missing. Because Until Dawn is their best work. So the thing with this is that these games, just like Until Dawn, right? These games are meant to be played multiple times over, you know, so you can either try to save everyone or try to get everyone killed, get all the trophies. Right. That's what these games are meant for. Like Man of Medan, same way. You got so many different outcomes, right? The second game, Little Hope, ending is so bad that it's not even worth doing all the outcomes. Because the way that they have it set up, it's meaningless. Once I got through the first playthrough, I was like, all right, I understand why I would want to play through Until Dawn multiple times, because I want to see those scenarios since they actually mean something. Man of Medan, yeah, it actually means something. This game, it's regardless, at the end of the day, the true ending is actually the same. Regardless who you keep alive, or if you get the actual ending is the same, but it's the worst ending to possibly anything. And once you get the ending, and it's like I could spoil it. Like, I mean, I don't mind spoiling it for anybody I don't know if you're interested in that game or whatever. It's like you're not going to play it, right?
No,
you're not going to play. All right, this is pretty much. All right, so the game, right? When you're playing the game, you're assuming the game is about witch trials, right? And the thing that's going to be hunting you is like, you know, witches and you know ghosts of witches and all this other shit, right? That's and you're throughout this whole game, you're trying to find out, man, is the little girl evil or something, or is it somebody else, right? Who's because this little girl she's a funny looking little girl, and every time she's around, something bad happens, right? So you're as these characters, you keep running into ghosts, and they're pulling you into time of the witch trials, like oh, we got to try to save some of these people and whatnot. You're going through all these motions, and just to find out, I'm gonna make a long story short. Just to find out, right? Because the game starts off with a guy driving a bus, and he's being rerouted by the cops because of the accident. So they had to drive through this town called Little Hope. All right. After that, I guess the bus crashes, and everybody appears that was on the bus survives, and you guys are just trying to recollect your thoughts what happened. But the problem is this town Little Hope is full of fog, so you guys just keep looping around. There's no way out of this town, and they're getting haunted by different things, and then the witch trials and all this shit comes in, right? So you get through the story, right? Of once you get the bearings, I was like, all right, we're on pretty much a witch hunt. We got to find out, is the little girl evil, or is it somebody else who's pretty much responsible for this? Sure, they try to scare you with you going through all these houses, schools, and all this other stuff. Things happen. You look at photos, you know, premonitions happen and all that stuff. All right, cool. You get to the point of the game. You finish the game. You solve the problem. You find out who's the bad one, right? You kept whoever you kept alive. Only to find out, right? None of that shit actually happened. The main character you're playing as, right? You're pretty much, all right, that's what happened. When the bus gets into an accident, you're looking for the bus driver. Everybody's there but the bus driver. So you spend the whole entire time looking at the bus driver, and then come to find out at the end of the game, the main character is the bus driver, just older, and he's reminiscent. And the shit he was reminiscent, I guess he's going through some psychological problem, because it's showing a flashback of him doing all this shit, but he's by himself. So all those 7 people I'm trying to save or whatever don't exist. They have no bearings on anything. So whether you survive, whether it's just you or 8 of you, nothing changes. It doesn't change the dynamics of the game, no matter who you keep alive. Because at the end of the day, there's only one person there for this entire time.
It sounds like a cool concept, like a nice
it's a cool concept. Yeah, but in practice, the way that it went down, all the shit went down, is like this is the biggest waste of time ever. Because I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of Little Hope. However, I do want to play it because they give you a little sneak peek of their. They give you a sneak peek of their next game, which is coming out this year, this October, and it's called I think The Land of oh shit, what is it called? I tweeted about it, but do you do at least horror movies, right? Do you watch?
No.
All right, maybe you came across this. Have you ever seen the movie The Descent?
No.
Damn it! All right, so their next game looks a little bit more interesting. You're supposed to be playing as these military guys and whatnot in like Iraq or something like that, and they get probably like dropped into a cave, and it has similarities to The Descent. Like these creatures, like The Descent is a movie based on like I think like 6 girls who went like hiking. They get trapped in like this cave, and these some crazy ass fucked up people are in these caves, and they're like vicious. They like pretty much kill all, but like obviously there's that one token person that survives. And I'm like, okay, I know where this is going. But I think the next game might be interesting. But the Supermassive games, I like what they can do. The whatever they use for like scanning people into their video games, they do a marvelous job because their visuals be on point. But they haven't had really anything. None of their games come close to Until Dawn, and that's why Until Dawn needs to come to Xbox. So
it sounds like they need to switch up the formula and try something new because.
Well,
they sound like they only got one game that hit really.
Yeah, they signed a horrible deal. What happened was I think Bandai and Namco loved what they saw from Until Dawn, right? So they signed like a 3-game deal. Yeah. It was like, we got like pretty much, how like movies come out and there's like a trilogy. It comes out every year though, but it's like it's consistent. So these games have to come out more often than Until Dawn. Until Dawn was their original release story. They had whatever money that they had, hired whoever actors that they put into the video game, but it was their story. It was now with Bandai backing them. They now they have to get like these high tier, these recognizable actors and stuff like that, and try to make it all make sense. But I wasn't really feeling it.
Okay, yeah, I won't be checking it out, but doesn't sound like something I like.
Did you finish up Borderlands?
So I didn't. So actually, I kind of put Borderlands to the side a little bit, and I downloaded Infamous Second Son. Okay. Just to have something to play real quick. And playing that game, man, just makes me want another Infamous game, dog. Like, especially playing it at 60 frames, and oh my god, like of course it looks graphically delicious.
They upped the frame rate?
They did. Well, okay, so they upped it on the PS4, right?
Okay.
But since the PS5 takes it to a lock 60, then it's a lock 60. But for the longest, I was having a weird issue where the character seemed like he was moving slow, but the world would move at 60. But come to find out, it's an option that you have to change the reticule to fast. Yeah. And then it feels like it's how it's supposed to be. But yeah, I've been playing that, and I loved it on PS4, and it's even better with 60 frames on PS5. But as soon as I finish that up, I'm going to get the plat for that because it's like a super easy platinum. Then I'm gonna go back to Borderlands, and it just ain't shit to play, really, man.
Yeah, dude, that's why my list's looking kind of spooky, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Returnal got delayed until April, dog. I'm just like, come on.
Not only just say the last day of April,
the last day, dog. Yeah. The last day. So yeah, so right now I'm just playing Infamous, and man, I really do hope that Sucker, is it Sucker Punch or is it Insomniac? Who did it? It's Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
Yeah, Sucker Punch. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna be revisiting that game for a while.
For a while. I doubt they even come back to it, but if they do, man, it'll be something special on PS5 for sure. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. I'm trying to think. Have I been playing anything else? Borderlands, Infamous. Trying to think that I read down. Oh, no. Well, the PlayStation Plus games that's coming out for February.
February looking kind of lit.
Yeah,
bro.
it's incredible, man. Yeah. I think this is the first time I'm going to be downloading all 3 games.
All 3. Can you recap that?
It's Control Ultimate Edition.
Okay, so you're getting a proper one this time because now. Okay.
Yeah, and which is some people got kind of upset about that because it's on sale, I think, for $20. But luckily, Sony is refunding people who bought it, and now it's free. And then they got Concrete Genie, which I did want to play that from back
me too. Same here, but I might actually download that for sure. I don't think I'll do. Then go ahead, my bad.
And then they got Destruction All Stars, which
that's new IP. All right,
Supposed to be a launch, we got delayed.
Yeah.
So yeah. PS Plus for February is looking pretty good, man. Really, really good.
Yeah, Concrete Genie. Definitely, I'll get because I wanted that, but it was one of those games that I'm interested, but I don't know if I want to buy it. Destruction All Stars, obviously, is a new game, so we'll see how that works. Control, I don't see myself playing through it multiple times. I guess I could. I mean, the idea is like because at the end of the day, the one that's on Game Pass is the standard. Wow, why is he calling me? Zaire calling me. The Control, the standard editions in Game Pass. The Ultimate Edition is on sale for those who have Game Pass. So right now I'm kind of in a little situation where, I want to try out Control to see how running at 60 frames and you see what it look like with ray tracing and all that stuff. I want to check it out. So I guess it might be a 3 bean for me to download that game as well on PlayStation because I don't feel right buying it. Because I would rather play it on Xbox because I already got all my my achievements on Xbox. So it gives me another excuse to play it on PlayStation and try to get all the trophies there. But if it was free on Xbox, obviously I'd do it. If it was on Game Pass,
it does come with all the DLC too, so that's a plus.
Let me see what this dude want right quick. This is so random. My bad, Dre. My bad, guys.
He's all good, man.
What's up? Okay, how do I get it? Hit me up at
chat. How y'all doing?
8:05 p.m.
How's y'all night, man?
All right.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
All right, my bad. All right, you can't. Xbox actually has a good month too, but it's not good. It's not good to me because I think I got every game, but like but Indiana Jones. But like the Gears, obviously you get that's in Game Pass. What else? There's a couple games that they had that were kind of. I think Lost Planet is a part of one of those. I think Lost Planet 2 maybe. But no, PlayStation definitely. Their PlayStation Plus games are like it's the best offering I've seen from like honestly anyone in years. So
this is a really good.
The other thing is, what else is
Hold
there?
up, real quick. Jay Farrell asks, "What's going on with the Demon Souls challenge? What's up with that?"
I haven't been challenged to play it yet. I'm not playing Demon Souls on my like regular spare time. I have no need to. Like
so basically, chat. What he's saying is, put the money up and he'll get it cracking. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. That's the only way I'm playing that game. I don't.
Yeah. Put the pot up. You know.
There was a super chat I forgot to read last week. I put it in our chat.
Yes.
I just gotta make sure I get that there, just so I don't forget.
Yeah.
So I want to apologize to Reverse World. Last week you did a super chat. If you're here this week, you did a super chat last week for $5. He said, if Xbox announced this price hike after unloading a ton of exclusives on Game Pass, okay, but trying to pull this 3 months after launching with no exclusive? ? Last week's episode was mainly about Xbox doubling the price of Xbox Live Gold. And shortly after our podcast, they reversed it, and they reversed it. So it was the thing that obviously we had a lot to say about it, and they made some other changes. There's also some other rumors going around, but I don't know if you have any questions or anything that you want to talk about, discuss before we get into the.
Yeah, man. I wanted to bring up something real quick, man. Yeah. Because I don't know, for those who don't know, I was suspended off Twitter for 7 days. And during that 7 days, the Microsoft financial earnings came out, right? And I'm I'm just seeing every Xbox fan go crazy over it. And in my head, I'm like, why don't y'all do this over the games? Like, why isn't this much happiness coming towards, like, why don't y'all put y'all energy? You see what I'm trying to say? Like, y'all put so much, like, these fans put so much, like, all over Twitter, I was saying, yeah, man, I thought Xbox was going broke and this, that, and the third. I'm just like, but
I get what you're talking about. You want us to put that same hype and response out to game releases. It's not the same, right? So here's the thing, right?
Like, so what? I'm just trying to figure out
I'll explain what's going on with that, right?
Okay.
The thing is that every month, right? PlayStation guys brag about NPDs, how many games that PlayStation has in like the top 10 or the top 20. They brag about how many PlayStation is going to sell in a quarter, all this other stuff. And so Xbox doesn't release console sold or game sold or whatever. You kind of just have, it's pretty much guesswork, right? So they're using, every time somebody says Xbox ain't doing nothing, they made $15 billion in 3 months. Like that, it's just the straw man argument. Me personally, I look at it. What does it give me?
What does that do for you?
It doesn't do anything for me at all. It doesn't do anything for me at all. It just shows that their gaming business is extremely healthy. Only thing that does me is just when I see their financials, I'm like, okay, who else can they afford to buy? That's the only thing that really kind of gets me. It's like, all right, who can they afford to buy? Because I was like, all right, they made 15 billion here. It's like, okay, they can. Now I'm thinking about who can they buy next. But at the end of the day, how much money they make, how many units they sell, I personally stopped caring about it, like, because I don't get anything out of it. I don't personally get anything out of it. Just like I stopped caring about how I'll say this. I'll always predict, what a game would review. Well, like Metascores, because those are fun to see what Metascores review. But at the end of the day, whether a game scores low or high, it has really no impact on me. So, it is a weird situation because the hype for how much money Xbox made was kind of a little odd. The only thing you saw me really kind of tweet out about was more so the shit where they said they made enough money to buy Bethesda twice. And the only reason why I thought that was like funny is because everybody says they need to put their games on PlayStation to make their money back.
Right.
Do that.
I'm just like, where is that energy? Like, put that energy towards y'all demanding better games.
All right.
Quote unquote.
Let's discuss that, right?
Okay.
Dre, let's discuss that.
Okay.
A lot, because we don't get credit for demanding enough, right? We demanded this whole Xbox Live thing. They reversed it. I feel like Xbox has answered everything we've been demanding. The only difference is the thing that has the longest turnaround is games, because they take the longest to make. If you consider that, like, you see that they are buying studios, right? And they're not. There's rumors, right, that they're looking to make a move on fucking Ubisoft. Like, Bungie keeps coming up, and these are all shit that could happen. Like, Sega, they're splitting up. What they could sell their gaming division to Xbox. Like, who knows? But it's like, at the end of the day, sure, they've been making the moves for, like, to bring the games. The problem is that they can't be like, oh, I bought a studio and next week here's their game. It doesn't work. It's just that's the one that has the longest turnaround. But yeah, I mean, I want to see the fruits of those labors too, man. I can't wait to get into this, because it still baffles me.
How long are y'all going? Like, how long is this wait? Like, how long are y'all going to put up? With just everybody coming down on Xbox about, of course, obviously the games, but just like the games that are coming out aren't releasing to critical acclaims.
I think it's like the whole critical acclaim. I think that's the Sony problem. I think this whole thing with, like, PlayStation and everybody, like, how a game has to be like a 90 or better or it's not good. I think it's just a problematic way to look at, like, games, because when I look at the library and all the games that I enjoyed and played, there's been very, very few of them that was at was above a 90 or at a 90. Like a lot of those 90 plus games I find fucking boring. They're praised for all the wrong reasons. The only game I kind of agreed with being in the 9s were games like obviously The Last of Us and God of War. I actually think God of War was overrated because I felt like it was a great game. There was nothing wrong. There was nothing fundamentally wrong with God of War, but I felt like there was a lot of things or flaws in that game that was just never pointed out because Kratos had a beard and a son. Like I don't know, but like but I didn't find anything bad about God of War. But those are like really like the only two games. Like I think Spider-Man's average Metacritic was 87, right? I thought that was a 9.
Who's
Spider-Man? The last two, I think they fell around like 87, 86, but I thought they were more like 90-ish. I enjoyed those games. But the average games that get like 90, like the Metal Gears and all that other shit, like I find boring as fuck and I don't play them. So like, like the whole critical acclaim thing is like, I think it's unnecessary pressure for that Xbox fans or like any fan should have on like a game needs to score this so they can enjoy it or so they can hype it. Dre, we done this podcast 3 weeks, and I got years worth of playing Xbox on Weapon Wheel. One of the games that was announced for Xbox recently, or that was coming to Xbox, that I did not hype and I was openly pessimistic about it, was the Medium. I've always said, actually just last week when we were reviewing 2 weeks ago when we were reviewing 2021 Xbox games that were coming. When the Medium came out, I was like, I was like, I don't know about that, right? Had no hype. So now people are telling me, oh, I only like it, or my thoughts are like, I'm only saying it because it's on Xbox. I was like, bro, I had zero expectations for this game. Like, so, but yeah, that's
it's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to the Medium. I got a lot of smoke for these PlayStation fans. A lot of hypocrisy when it comes to the Medium, but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, let me get through these super chats right quick, and then we do have to get, because obviously we got it. People want to hear about this game, bro.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Emmanuel said, "Hold it down, Smooth. Just seen you on Z's podcast." How did he see me on Z podcast? I haven't been on Z's podcast in about 3 years.
Maybe that's what he watched one from 3 years ago.
Unless he called me on live stream like he just did. So that he typically does that. David Gaines for $2.99 says, "Cap, ain't nothing cap about what I'm saying, bruh."
What up, man?
Like, can we hit that like button, that share button? We're kind of light today. You know what I mean? This is not going to be a long show, but I mean, we appreciate you guys coming through. But hit that like button, hit that share button.
Pretty please.
What else we got, Dre?
Shit, I don't know. You probably just want to get to the Medium. I think I did have. Another thing that came up while I was locked up real quick was the resurge of the topic of $70 games, man, and how I don't know how this came back up again. I know we talked a little bit about it on Planet Xbox, but
no, go ahead. I you know why it came up. I know why it came up.
Yeah, I mean, we know why it came up, but I just don't know. I don't understand why it was like. Why did somebody bring this back up for what?
Because,
I think if you're gonna pay, if you think the game is worth $70, I think everybody's gonna pay $70, no matter if they want to buy it or not. If you think $70, like GTA 6, if that standard edition is $70, guess what? My black ass is gonna buy it for $70.
Oh yeah, well, it's definitely gonna be $70 because Take-Two was the first.
Yeah.
Right. It happened because other than Xbox guys, PlayStation guys hopped on the whole Xbox Live Gold, and they went at him. And even when the stuff was reversed, it was the same. The PlayStation guys telling us, "Oh, you guys shouldn't be praising them for reversing something. They tried to rob you. You're gonna think somebody if they unsuccessfully rob you." Da 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 da. You know what I mean? They were like kind of. So what happened was, it's like, all right, now we solved the Xbox problem. Let's look back at those who actually are responsible for raising the prices of video games. And reason why we know 2K started it, right? There was the first. Correct. I feel like they were just the sacrificial lamb that they were just going to be the first to say, "Fuck it, we're doing it." You know what I mean? They had to because it was already a bunch of companies like, "All right, how are we going to sneak this in?"
2K is greedy.
2K just said,
"Hella greedy." So.
Nah, these are $69.99, bro. Right?
They didn't care one way or another.
And then Activision followed suit. PlayStation never even announced it. They were just games just appeared. At $69.99, so that's how they did it.
Yep.
So that kind of just showed where they stood at with the pricing. And the thing is, shortly after that article came out saying, Sony was pushing for games above $70 for the next generation standard, which I'm sure others was with, but they know you that would be too drastic of a change. So I think they all agreed and settled on for the 10 because that decision is an industry decision, just like when games went from $49.99 to $59.99. It was an industry decision, and we just kind of all just accepted it. But yeah, like at the end of the day, do I want to play $70 for a game? For
no.
Standard game?
I don't.
No, I don't at all. And the crazy thing is, believe it or not, I haven't paid $70 for not one of these games. I don't own, like Demon Souls. I only got Demon Souls because I bought it from Josh for like either $30 or $40. He played it, he didn't like it, I guess, and he sent it to me, and I paid him on PayPal. So this is a used copy, a secondhand copy of Demon Souls. Godfall went on sale for like $40, and I got it. This is a PS4 game. Do I have it? These are some. I don't even play. Jumanji. Man, Paw Patrol. These are what's. No, but Godfall. Yeah, so I got those games on sale. Like I haven't bought a full-fledged play, and I don't think I'm buying Returnal because I'm not. One, it's just too much of a so-so type game. And I'm not. I don't see if it's a so-so type game, then I'm not comfortable. If I wasn't, that means if it's a so-so game, I wasn't going to spend $60 for it, let alone $70. Same thing with Destruction All Stars. I think it looked cool, but I wasn't willing to pay $70 for it, let alone $60 for it. But it's going to PS Plus, so I don't have to.
There you go.
But the thing is, though, for a while, a lot of us has paid more than $70 for games. The last two, with the exception of Valhalla, because I got the review code for the most expensive edition, they give you kind of the whole shebang when they give you the review code. But the last two, I spent like $100 each. I think $120 on each one. I wanted the whole thing. I wanted the whole $120 like version. I don't know why. It was just digital. I didn't get a statue. I just bought the standard Ubisoft like most expensive edition. Yeah, and I think I would have. Did I do the same thing? I spent $70 on Immortals because I don't think I just bought the $60 version. I think I bought the next one up. So I spent money on games that were above $60. So I mean, is it a big deal? No, because they found ways, and Microsoft and a few other publishers, I think back in like 2017, 2016, maybe it started where it was. I know Ubisoft started to do it, Activision started to do it. Xbox was one of the publishers that did it. If you bought like the $100 edition of their game, you got it 3 days, 4 days early. They were doing that, and I've done that a couple times. So
yeah. That's one company I don't think is going to do the 70 for their exclusives because they're in Game Pass.
Like, there's no need to. There's literally no need to.
Right.
There's no need to, because they're not trying to. So they have the least incentive to do so.
Right. So,
and then again, they have more incentive to do so. If you increase the price and then you have Game Pass, just like they increase the price of Xbox Live, you can move people to Game Pass quicker. Like, hey, well, you can pay $15 a month and play it and pay it in Game Pass. But I don't think they're gonna do it.
Yeah, I just saw that on Twitter. I'm just like, the moral of the story is we're going to pay the 70 if it's a game that we really want to play. So
absolutely,
I just don't understand why that was. Because that was a big thing on Twitter over the past week. So I just didn't understand why that came back up. But we're all going to pay the 70 for a standard edition, whether you like it. If you like it, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. But if it's a game you really want to buy, you're pretty much going to buy it.
You're going to buy it, yeah.
I just didn't understand why it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Came back up again.
Yeah, because people don't like people, defend their favorite brand, their favorite company, and when people are going at Xbox, they're gonna find a way to go at like PlayStation, and
Yes,
PlayStation was they participated in increasing the price, and it is what it is. Like, so they have $70 games, and currently at this moment, Xbox don't. I know everybody keeps saying Xbox will get it, but Xbox had every opportunity to do so. So, for example, this is how I look at it. Godfall, right? It's on PlayStation and PC, right?
Right, correct.
It's on PlayStation.
Both.
Yeah.
And PC.
It's on PlayStation for 60. Hold on. Give me. I'm sorry. Can you just hold on?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Do what you gotta do. Yeah. Yeah, but I definitely paid the $100 for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I don't regret it. It comes with the season pass. I like Assassin's Creed, so I definitely paid the $100. But yeah, just people like I don't understand why it was brought up. If you think it's worth it, you're going to pay the $70. Like, I'm pretty sure those in the chat who like Grand Theft Auto 6, who like Grand Theft Auto, and when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, best believe it's going to be $70, and you will be paying for it, point blank. So, I mean, it's all about the worth, though, man. If you think it's worth $70, hey, you're going to buy it. If you don't think it's worth $70, then wait for the sale. Moral of the story, who cares? It's my money, motherfucker. With that hashtag, it's my money, so I'm doing what the hell I want with it. So, hey.
All right, my bad. Where were we?
Xbox doesn't have a. It's no need for it. I think it was talking about.
Oh yeah, no, because I was like Godfall, right? So Godfall was $60 on PC, $70 on PS5, right? Mm-hmm. Gears Tactics was sold at regular $59.99 on both. No, and technically they could have sold it at $69.99 because the version that launched on the on the Xbox was it had features that the PC version didn't have. It had extra bonus, new content, and all this other stuff. So they could have snuck it in there, but then people say, well, they haven't had like a full-fledged game launched since now, and their next one is going to be, for all we know at this point, is Halo. So,
you think that's going to get the $70 price tag? Halo? No, okay.
Nope.
Yeah. I don't think so either. But I mean, if it was a game to get it though, I think that probably would be the one. If Xbox decided to jump on board with the $70 train, that I think that would be the one to kickstart their $70 train.
We'll see. Xbox probably might not do that shit until 2022.
Yeah, sure.
Because right now I don't see like an outlook of where they would have that so far. So, let me just making sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. All right, we're caught up with the super chats. All right, so yesterday, The Medium has released on Xbox and PC, and also day one in Game Pass. Reviews went out. Metacritic scores out there. I think it's at what, 71?
71. Oh, did it drop?
I don't know. The last time I saw it was the only time I saw it was at a 71, and that's the one I keep seeing Optimus Prime post.
I think last time I checked it was at a 73. That was the last time I checked, but let's see if I can pull it up.
It's Metacritic, right?
Medium. It is at a 71 on the Series X, at a 76 for the PC version.
I don't know why it's a 76 on PC.
I don't know why. Maybe PC version has less reviews than the Series X version.
Yeah, like
Let's see. Yeah. PC version has 34 reviews, and the Series X has 61 reviews.
yeah. I'm gonna throw my review on Metacritic, raise that user score.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, how have you been? You know, you've played it. Give us the rundown, man. How do you like it?
All right, so I'll give you the background. I've been always pessimistic about this game. I've always told people, hey, I don't think it's gonna be all that. All their other games have been mid to trash, like Blair Witch, Observer, Layers of Fear. Not a fan of their games. I'm just naturally not a fan of Blooper Team's games. And I didn't anticipate them to do anything spectacular for the console, being that it's a console exclusive. So I don't know. I just had zero expectations, and the thing is, also one of the reasons why I wasn't checking for it is because one, it's in a horror genre, not a horror when it comes to video games. I like puzzlers, but I don't want to do puzzles and be scared at the same time. I just like that. That's just a recipe for disaster for me. I'm not going to enjoy it. So I never said I wasn't going to play it. I felt like I had a short leash with the game, meaning I'm going to try it. If I'm not enthused within like the first 20 or so minutes, then I'm dropping it. That's what I expected to do. But then I started playing yesterday morning at like 11, and it started off well, and whatever peak or whatever it did to maintained its level of play up until I finished it. It had some highs, but I feel like the low points weren't like low. It didn't break the immersion for me. It just kept this even pace of interest and peak. Like it just kept this like, okay, something. It was like every time I like did something, and then how you do a mission, there's the beginning, there's the middle, there's the climax, and then when you start your next mission, obviously it starts off slow, and then you got to work your way up. It just kind of like, whoo, and it just kind of was a smooth ride throughout the whole entire process, and so the story just kept getting interesting. So the thing is, at this point, my goal, when I was like, all right, I'm only gonna play this game during daylight. I'm not playing this game past 3 p.m. And
I feel you though.
On day one, I played until 10 o'clock, and I was like, shit, I wasn't supposed to do that. So I don't know what it is. Is that this is? I'll tell you this, right? Because I'm gonna do a review eventually. I might put it out tomorrow if I have time to put the video and stuff together. But I'll tell you this: this is easily Bloopers Team's best work to date. Okay. So whatever the stuff that they did in the past, even the crazy thing is though, they took elements from their previous games, some of the shit that worked, and they found ways to make it work in this game. Like so, some of the stuff, like a lot of their games are first person. Jump scares, creepy, all this other stuff. But obviously, you could tell they had a little bit more money in the pocket for this game. The story is dope. They got a lot of well-known people in this game. The music, the score of this thing, but like, I know they used the people from Silent Hill and some original composers and stuff like that as well. But it just worked. The story is, I don't know where to start. Like,
so okay, without
questions,
spoiling,
ask questions. Yeah. I'd rather answer questions. Go ahead.
Without spoiling, what is the concept of the story?
Okay, the concept of the story is like you play as Marianne, right? And she is a mortician, I think it is, or some shit like that. She works for a funeral, like a funeral home and stuff. Like she deal with dead bodies and shit like that. But obviously, she has a capability, and a capability to speak with, the people from in the afterlife, ghosts and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
So you kind of get a sense that what she's known for is pretty much setting spirits free. Helping them cross over. That's that's pretty much what she does. And you can kind of get that. It's not like when you start the game, she just developed this shit like at the start of the game. No, she kind of been dealing with this for what we know ever since like childhood, right?
So is it like she has? So obviously she has like a spirit person, like her spirit, a spirit world, right?
Yeah.
Is it like what I'm trying to say here? Like what caused? Like what is the cause of her going into like this spirit
Okay.
demon realm or whatever?
So what happens is that if I guess there's energy. Like let's say anywhere she goes, right? Like something has happened, so especially obviously if someone has died, or if they like something traumatic or something that has happened in that area that she's in. Depending on I guess how strong of the thing was, it'll kind of tug at her and force her to like kind of see the world two ways. That's why the screen splits up and she'll get into the medium. She'll get into the real world and then in the spirit world, and she gets to see two things going on, and then it's her job at that point. She's trying to solve what happened at that scenario. So the game from jump is that you're introduced to pretty much her because she's pretty much what we think we are, saying goodbye to her father, but you'll learn things differently. But and obviously she runs the funeral home, but the problem is she's looking for things in the apartment to send him off with, like put on his body, when they dress up people for funerals and stuff like that. So it was like a clip and a tie. So at the start of the game, while she's doing that, after she puts his tie on, she I guess feels energy, like somebody's like making noise upstairs and shit like this. It's like the first spooky moment, and then she finds out like the energy that's there. It's the guy that it's Jack, her father at this point. And that's when she first gets pulled into the medium. And she then pretty much sets him free, but she didn't know how to do it because that was actually somebody she cared about. Before, well, other people, it's just like strangers she's beating. She's just helping them solve problems and stuff like that and letting them go. This one, she actually cared, so she didn't know how to say goodbye, so all she had to do was just set him free. And then
let me stop you real quick. So the way it triggers is that somebody's coming to her, like for some kind of help or something, or some kind of to help solve some kind of problem. It's how does it trigger?
How it triggers is that, well, for the main of the game is kind of self-inflicted because she's looking for somebody and she has to go to a haunt. Pretty much after the beginning of the game, she's called to go to this hotel, and the hotel is known for being fucking haunted because something traumatic happened there. And obviously, if you're going to a haunted place and she's a spirit reader, that shit's gonna be all over the place. She's gonna have those moments with a bunch of people. But yeah, so pretty much because after that, you're forced to go through it because you have to go to this haunted hotel, right? So what happens is it's energy. She feels energy. She'll look at things. She'll let's say if somebody picked up something and it belonged to somebody and something traumatic happened, she'll get like a vision or some shit like that of what happened in the back. That's pretty much what happens. So for most of the time with the game is you don't spend the entire game with the split screen as we're seeing it. You know how that was the biggest concern? Oh, is it going to be split screen? You do not spend the entire game. I feel like the game, I feel like that happens maybe in your whole playthrough. That's probably 30%. The rest of the game, you're either one or the other.
Okay.
At some points. Now,
hold on, real quick. Let me ask you this. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Do you think that this game, like the split screen moment, would have been better if it was a button trigger? And so how in Halo the remaster you can trigger the next gen graphics or then back to the original?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't see it through here, but let me hit this button and
so do you think that kind of concept would have been better, and you can just trigger it like back and forth, or do you think the split screen,
the way they did it, I see what you're talking about, because there's games where if you push a button and they bring you to the past, I forgot what games. I think Titanfall did some shit like that before. Titanfall 2 did it in their campaign.
Singularity, I think this.
I know if you push a button, it changes the scenery, right? But you keep jumping through realms and shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. With this game, not necessarily, because they interact with each other. Okay. So, for example, in one moment I was playing, right, and you'll find something that you'll try to trigger something, but it needs power. You can't get power to it in the regular world, but you can get power through the spirit world, and there's little puzzles that you have to do. But the thing is, I'm trying to think of a scenario that happened where it made the most sense of like, okay, you couldn't do this one at a time. It had to be happening simultaneously, for it to happen. And then the crazy thing is, I just beat the game like a few hours ago. But yeah, there's a lot of things that happen where it's a simultaneous action. So, and the thing is, you are controlling both while this is happening, and you have to sort of pay attention to both, because there might be a collectible in a real world and an action in the spiritual world that they're different button prompts, right? It might be A in the spiritual world to activate this one thing, and then you have to collect things. Like, for example, like at one moment I had to collect like these dolls, and I had to put them in order to activate the spirit light for her, so I can have power in the spirit world to blast through things or to protect myself from like these like little bats or some shit like that. And what happens is, in the real world, I have to find them, right? And then there's when I do that, it activates things in like pretty much the medium. And so I'm gonna see if I could pull up another gameplay that I have, because I recorded so much gameplay. But the way that it worked, I know what you're talking about, that could have worked, but I feel like the way that they built this game, the split screen works best because of it interacts with each other. Like, it's too much interaction. You would have to literally, if it was one at a time, you would have to, because there's things that happen at the same time that you couldn't just switch back and forth, because things happen at the same time that you need to follow what's going on. And then sometimes you are able to fully leave like your body and stay, because there's things that you can't, like, let's say if there's an entrance in the medium world, right? But in the real world, it's like a blocked off entrance. You can't get it. It's like an invisible wall, but because it's like either a bunch of corrosion or maybe a locked door that's there. But in the medium world, it's not a locked door. It's just an access way. You can get out of your life, but you only have like a certain amount of time you can stay like that before, because otherwise they'll kill you. You only have a certain amount of time, and there's moments like that you have to. I'll get stopped at a doorway, but I was like, all right, I should be able to go through this door, find whatever I have to find, bring it back to me so I can use it. A lot of scenarios like that happens. What I'll tell you about the game is that, couple of things. When you look at the game, where you're playing this game, nothing about the game visually that tells you, oh, this can't be done on the Xbox One, because the Xbox One, and One X, whatever, has games currently that visually look better. Sure, the ray tracing's nice and all other stuff, but there's games that exist that look better that exist on last gen. Right? So visually, there's nothing really next gen about it. Performance-wise, it's 30 frames per second. Obviously, there's like some frame time issues that they need to patch in. There's also some visual noise that take place that they could probably fix with a patch. But when I think about what it's doing on the Xbox Series X and S and even people's PCs, and then I think about how would it have ran on Xbox One? Just resolution alone. If it's dropping 648p to the Series S on the split screen mode, as they say, that's the lowest worst case scenario, right? 648p. What does that do on the Xbox One? What does that do? I don't know. Yeah. That's what I'm like, okay, if it's that demanding, where it's doing this to these consoles, and then people having struggling to run it at 60 frames on their PC, and all the recommended settings possible that they provided are for 30 frames per second, I could not imagine how would it have ran on the Xbox One or the Xbox Series S. But there's nothing about it visually that says, oh, next gen, Nah, it's a decent game. It's a really, I think the game is good. The things that it got working for it is that it has an incredible story. They have an awesome soundtrack, and it's not boring. When you pick up their previous games and stuff, you find them shit's overly boring. There's just enough in it to keep you kind of in tune, to keep you asking questions, and it's giving you like this push to go find. Like you're trying to get on top of it. There's a lot of these sub stories, and they introduce like characters, and everything comes together really nicely. So it's a big mystery, and things open up slowly. I mean, It wasn't it's not as scary as I thought it would be. Like the scariest thing that happened made no sense though. There is one like real jump scare, and it's when you probably see it on Twitter. Like I was peeking through a peephole, and there was a tub there, and it was like full of blood, and then just randomly a face just popped up in my fucking shit, and I'm like, bro, really? And I panicked a little bit, but that's the only time it's ever happened. Like the main things that's chasing you around throughout this fucking game and shit like that, it's not scary at all to me. I think it's like just goofy looking, but.
Well, okay. What about the gameplay? Because when I catch little snippets, it kind of gives me Heavy Rain vibes, where you're like walking around and a prompt comes up, and then you can click the prompt. So it gives me Heavy Rain vibes. And is there like any kind of like hand-to-hand combat, or are you fighting some kind of demons or anything?
Nah.
Okay.
The way that the combat works is it's not. I won't call it combat. The things that you are doing against like the enemies in the game is that you're running from them. Okay. You're stealthing, you're hiding, and you're holding your breath. That's one. And then you're sneaking around and you're doing actions to cause damage to them. So in one instance, I had to sneak around this thing. They call him the Maw. He's the big tall thing that sounds creepy as fuck. And he's chasing you throughout most of the game. I had to sneak around him. He was standing in like a puddle, but I had a live wire there. I had to cut. I had to hit a switch, and it electrocuted him. And then there was something I had to cut something, and it dropped like a bunch of barricades on him, and it gave me time to run to stall him. And then there's a moment where I had to push a generator into this large body of water he was sitting in, and that did some damage to him. So those are like the combat instances. There is 2 playable characters in this game. There's a secondary character that you can play as, who has a little bit more of more action roles during his, but he's like a stronger medium type. Okay. Of what he can do. So he has like a parry. So there's things that actually try to attack him, and he has a parry option, like a parry shield. If you hit it at the right time, obviously you parry it, destroys whatever. And then he has like this telekinesis part. It reminded me of Control a little bit, where you just move something and he just throw shit. But they're control instances. It's not free for me, because it doesn't happen all the time. You only do it when it's set up. It's scripted. It's not like QT. It's just scripted though. It's like, all right, when to do it, because all right, you see something highlighted. All right, that's something I can move with his powers and whatnot. But the story does get deep. The gameplay, like I said, it's no combat. Some people could call it a walking sim. I would say it's more of a puzzle. Sophisticated puzzles in the game. But it's more in line with like one of those puzzlers with a deep story. Those games that they drop, these interesting puzzle games that I'm trying to think about it, but it's one of the best. Like if I had to narrow it down to a puzzler in a walking sim, it's that with the best story possible. Okay. To make it work. Now,
is the monster, is he a scripted when he chases you, or is he like a Mr. X type and he's always chasing you around the spirit?
No, I would say go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Does he come in both the real world and the spirit realm, or just the spirit realm? Or is that a spoiler?
Damn it. I don't know if it's a spoiler, because I think it happens sort of early. What happens is something happens where
all right, if you don't know, then don't.
I'll tell you, he chases you in both. It's just that he's visible. He's visible in one world, and sort of in type invisible in another. And that's what makes it fucked up, because you have to look for like his shadow. And the other, and also to tell you about the medium, it's a fixed camera angle. Just to give you a heads up, you don't control the camera. It's that old school Resident Evil camera. But it works, because it's not a camera that gets in your way. You know what I mean? Okay. It still leaves enough room for you to go out and venture and look for like hidden shit, collectibles and stuff like that. It still allows for that, right? But it was one of those first times where I was like, I actually don't mind this. I thought it was going to bother me, but I did not mind it because the scope is pretty big, the way that they have it. But that's how the camera is. So the controls, and that's where I guess when we talk about performance, right? Because the game is running at 30 frames. I don't know. 60, obviously higher frame rates is better, but I guess in this case scenario, I don't know where the benefit of having 60 would be, like if it would matter or not, because you at this point you're only controlling the character's movement. You know what I mean? She doesn't run really fast. You can sprint, but I mean it's not meant for you to run very fast or anything like that. You know, so that's where I was like, okay, I can kind of see why 60 frames may not be. It would be nice to have, but I can see where it wouldn't really matter because you're not controlling the camera at all. You don't control the camera. The camera just sort of pans as you make moves, certain corners and whatnot.
Does the camera is the camera always fixed on where you need to go?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's set in a position yet, but the thing is, like I said, you do have freedom because there's things. Not everything is on a straightaway path because you do. I missed 3 achievements. I'm 3 achievements from 100% completing it, but the problem is I can't go back and select chapters, so that's why I won't get the 100% because I'm not playing through the game again because I can't believe I got through the fucking the game, but because I know what to expect, I can probably do it now. But yeah, because the game there is collectibles. God bless you. There is collectibles all throughout the game that the camera isn't always focused on. It's focused on the path, but you have room to like venture around. To like, all right, is there? Because there's room. Because there's doors. There's rooms you don't have to go into, but they feature collectibles. So and the camera just kind of adjusts as it needs to. Wherever room you go to, it's like, all right, well. No, we'll get the camera. We'll find an angle in this room that lets you scope this whole entire room out.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, if you have to give it a, well, I guess you kind of want to save that for your review.
It doesn't matter. I mean, nobody watches my reviews anymore, anyway. So,
If you had to give it like your score on like what you played, what would you rate it? If
I think I'm leaning towards maybe an 8.5 for what it is. This is how now. Reason why I'm judging it, like I said, I didn't care what this game would have scored because, like I said, I was always pessimistic about the game. Right, I had no interest. But given that, looking at their history of games, the type of games they released, and it easily being their best work to date on plot, story, voice acting, there's obviously a better budget on this game. It's no Last of Us or Red Dead type budget, but it's for an independent studio. All right, it looks like they had some sort of a budget to work with versus what they did before, easily. Okay. So, the game hits on story. The game hits on for what it is, a puzzler. For a puzzler, it hits on it. It does it what it needs to do for its gameplay. You know what I mean? For the gameplay that this game is supposed to target, it does that. The only issues that I have with this game is that it has performance issues. And the game, like I said, is Xbox Series and PC only game. So there is like there'll be moments like, you know how, I don't know if you ever seen like games with texture popping and stuff like that. And it's like, but their texture pop, it's not the entire time. There'll be points where it's just like this, like, damn, why did that? You're running exclusively on the SSD. Like, why is that? Why is this an issue here? This should not occur.
Yes.
The type of texture poppings that they were having, I'm like, that should not occur. And then there's this graphical noise, like this glitches. It was these, not glitches where somebody's arm is floating. Actually, I did have a glitch where the monster caught me and fucking Marianne was invisible. You couldn't see her. That happened once. But the glitches I've been talking, it'll be random where these like discoloration, these like pop, like these lights. It look like fireworks. It's just random fireworks is just taking place in the middle of like it could be like a regular kitchen, right? And like fireworks are just going off. And I'm like, that's probably an error. So that happened. And then when I plugged my console into my capture card from my TV to my capture card, I see where there was like some stuttering taking place, which wasn't present during where I'm plugged in into my actual TV, and I'm assuming it's because the TV I have and all the features that Xbox have, it sort of any performance issue, anything related to screen tearing or stuttering and stuff like that. The FreeSync and VRR helps out with that, and obviously the capture card doesn't have that. So that's when I sort of was able to pick up like, okay, I see people might experience that. So it's more so the issues with the game was more so performance related. I had no crashes or anything like that, no game breaking bugs or anything like that. No audio errors. It was just more so something that a simple patch should fix, because overall the game ran well. It did what it's supposed to do. I thought the game has some high spots in some areas. They did a good job with their ray tracing. When you get out into the forest, especially towards the end of the game, they do some decent works, but there's also some visible flaws there, and you can see, this is not like a $60 game. But this is easily their best game. I recommend, if you're into that type of shit, like if you're like, at this point now, I don't even know if I would call it a horror game. I would say it's more so a psychological thriller. It's more of a psychological thriller game. Because like I said, I didn't get scared. I got scared at that one point, but everything else didn't really bother me much in the game. And
is there? Go ahead.
Go. You good? No, this is.
Is there side content and like side quests, and if there is, does it intertwine with the main story?
I don't know if I would say side content, because I think all the quests that I did were required at some point. I think they were required to progress. So I'm going to say no. There's side things you can do to obviously get achievements, but there's like certain collectibles. Look for a Easter egg. Like there was one Easter egg I knew I fucking missed. I was kind of mad. Like there was there's optional things, like there's an achievement or for escape going completely undetected from like the monster and shit like that. That was missed. So I got 3 achievements that I know I can get. But other than that, no, there's no real side missions. I do like the content though, the quest setup. Like, cause once you're pretty much setting souls free, because they're being trapped. They're in this obviously this horrible place, and obviously they want to go. You find things, you learn things about the characters, what happened, you solve the problem, and you send them off. And I think they have a great pacing throughout the entire game. There's enough going on, and I think I did the game in like maybe 9 to 10 hours, maybe. But and don't answer it, because I think this question might be a kind of spoilerish a little bit. Is the spirit world like a limbo state, and they're coming to you for help so they can cross over, or is it just like a spirit world and that's just what it is? It's just, because they don't come to only people that's like making contact with Marianne is obviously the little girl with the mask. Her name is Sadness, which you later learn who that is. The story's deep. I ain't gonna lie, bro. She's the only one that really Sadness makes contact with you, like, and she does it subtle ways. So in the real world, you'll see like a ball rolling or some shit like that, or a light flickering and shit like that, and then that would activate Marianne's senses, and then the world would split, and then you'll see her in the spirit world. You'll see her physically, but she'll be invisible in the real world. So you have her who will come through that way, and then obviously the other people that will make contact with Marianne, there is more so the people that she needs to get away from. The other people are kind of just there, and you're learning about their story, and you need to solve their story to make the connection to each story connects to the story the main story that you need to solve, and they just sort of connect and whatnot. So yeah, it's not like a bunch of random spirits like bothering this person. It's just that to help to really solve the story, there's things that are just in the way that you have to solve. And none of the puzzles are hard or anything like that neither.
So it's just just a normal, like, it's not like a limbo, like they're not in limbo, or the girl is not in a limbo state trying to cross over to anything. You get what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So I can't really. So there's only, like I said, there's only one main person that's making
Right, that's what
making
that's
consistent contact with your character throughout the entire playthrough. And because of the end, now I realize it's kind of weird now that I think about it, because how is she really there? But that situation is weird. Like, I can answer it, but I was like, well, no, because that would be a major spoiler.
Okay.
There's no other people. Like, there's sadness. There's the creature that's pretty much chasing you around, who also plays a vital part. And everyone else, I guess I would say they're this dude gotta stop, bro. Like, he gotta stop. Oh no, there's somebody else. Everybody else is like more so static. Their situation. So let's say you'll find like a reminiscence of someone or something, whether it be their body and they're missing their face or something like that. That sounds gruesome, but it's all right. You know, in the game, you know the mask that the little girl wears,
right? It's all cracked and shit.
Yeah. Everybody in the game that you kind of set free has a mask on. You don't see their actual face, and they're in the other world. They have a mask, and you'll see their body in that world, and it's kind of either disfigurine. And the only way they can get set free if you got to find their face and apply it to them, and then they are set free. But in the process, in order to find their face, you obviously got to solve their story and what happened. Right. And then when you do that, you find their face, and then you apply it, and you set them free, and then they'll tell you thank you, et cetera, for doing it, and then their structure would disappear from there. That's how that works. So yeah, my bad.
But now that sounds intriguing, because now I'm thinking, okay, now what I'm thinking is why. So what's up with the mask? Like, why do they wear the mask? Huh? So this definitely probably.
I guess the mask represents their their emotions, because a lot of things is heavily related to like trauma, whether it be happiness, sadness, danger, something like that. And anything that anybody touch, you'll find like a cigarette or a boot, whatever happened, excitement or whatever happened in that moment. There's something you can find, and she will use insight to reveal what happened. It'll be either like some sort of like visible or audio playback of what occurred at that moment.
Okay.
And that and it kind of give you clues. Like, for example, there was one part I had to find, like, I had the dude's face, right? But I didn't know his name, so I can't apply it to him if I don't know his name, because you have to be. I didn't know his name. I didn't know which body it was. So I had to go through like this classroom, listen to this audio dude, because in order to find a name, I had to look at an attendance list. I was like, all right, so who is it? And then you listen to like, there was some dude that like, dude, I gotta sit next to this dude, and we knew the dude that he had to sit next to sat next to the person I was looking for. So I had to go and find, like, it was a trip how it worked. I was like, oh shit. I was like, all right. But it was situations like that, these little puzzles like that how they made it work. But like I said, I would recommend you giving it a try. Just play it during the day. Just play it during the day. Don't play at night.
For sure. Like, it sounds interesting. Like, it really does. Like the way you compelled the way you told how the story is. It really does sound interesting. And when I get my Xbox, I'm probably will download that. And
it was a cool game. I was in parties. I was letting people know. I was like, bro, I'm surprised. I was like, I'm surprised I'm still playing this game. Like, it was a cool game. Kudos to Bloober Team. I'll just say that. Kudos. They did a good job with the game. They need to, like I said, they got some performance issues they need to work on, because, like I said, there's like, for the game state, it's like they almost had like a perfect game, but it looked like they had their target. They hit it, but there's just certain things that they got to fix, like the visible glitches that I said. Like I said, these colors, like that happened to me. I saw it like 3 times. And at first you think it's like something supposed to happen in the game, but then it looks out of place. You're like, all right, so that's probably not right. And then what else did I have issues with? It's just more so the frame pacing, but everything else, the game, it was a good game. It was a good game.
I mean, it sounds pretty alright though. Yeah, I don't understand the hate that this game is getting.
The hate is because it's on the most powerful console, and everybody don't care whether the game is good or not. Actually, they do. They care that because it's. Here's the thing: people like to use the 60s. Now they can't use the 60, so they're gonna have to upgrade that 60 to like 70, and just 70 is just gonna have to be a bad game. But I know a lot of people are just more so just they didn't like the whole boasting that Xbox guys did with ray tracing, 120 frames, 60 frames on every game, 4K this, 4K that, and you're hearing these last gen resolution numbers and stuff like that. It's just,
which is fair. That's fair.
It's fair, but at the end of the day, the craziest thing, right, with this generation, which is weird, I think the Xbox One X has had more native 4K games than both the PS5 and Series X in terms of releases so far. If you realize, a lot of the games, they're coming out dynamic. They're doing little tricks to get, and it's weird because it's these consoles are more powerful from a memory, from a video RAM standpoint. Their GPUs are they're capable. They're very capable. So I don't know why they have to do these tricks so early. I figured they would just go ahead and go ham with the resolution, the native resolutions first, and then as the generation ages and get more demanding, they can start the dynamic trickery and stuff because it's not as important. I mean, right now none of these consoles have a DLSS solution. Right. So it's weird. It is weird right now, but the whole 900p thing now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how split games supposed to work. I know a lot of people like to talk shit. I remember, I don't know who it was. It might have been J-Dub and Porter Rock. They were talking oh, well, games, multiplayer games, split screen, all this other stuff. But they forget is that if me and you were to play couch multiplayer on Gears 5 or some shit like that, we lose half the performance. It's not 60. It's not, once we split screen, it's not 60 frames anymore. Or so it's not probably even 4K anymore at that point either. Just to give you a heads up, the anytime you have split screen, the performance goes down. Not to say that's a bad resolution. It's just that I know in most games when you have split screen, whether it be four player split screen, 2 player split screen, the resolution, if it's 60, is going down to 30, and if it's a 30 frames per second game, the resolution or the image quality is dropping. So. With this game, I felt I wasn't I can't tell you, I saw a 900p image. I don't think so. I mean, because at that point, there's so much fucking going on at the screen. I'm trying to process 2 different images at the same time because I'm looking for, is there a collectible here? There's something I have to activate here at the same time. So
let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Nobody could tell. If it wasn't for Digital Foundry, nobody would have known it was 900p.
It's not that it's 900p because it's not. It's the worst case scenario.
The worst case scenario.
There's one part in the game, right? There's one part in this game. It's like a chase scene. It's fucking epic. It's I had to sit there and be yo, I'm actually controlling this. Because I guess how in movies, because what happened is, I figured. It's more so, it's something you would see in a trailer and you would think, this is just exclusive to a trailer, or this is probably going to be a cutscene, right? Where while you're running from the creature, right? Mm-hmm. And because his presence is, I guess, so strong, he's interfering your how you're supposed to see the world. It's because he's at this I don't want to spoil it, but he's interfering how you're supposed to see the world. So the shit is switching back and forth to real, medium, and there's different paths and shit. But it was going at like a Michael Bay film. We got all this crazy shit, and it's I'm oh shit, I'm still controlling this shit. I was like that moment, I was okay, they got their what do you call those moments? The moments where the Uncharted moments, they call them. What the fuck they call set piece. Set piece. Yeah, that was one of the set pieces in the games. I was all right, that's epic. That's epic, bro.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, this game seems like it's pretty good. I mean, it seems like a solid game. And a lot of people are giving it flack for its Metascore, which is kind of weird. And this is where let me go off a little bit.
Yep, go ahead.
This is where I kind of I don't understand PlayStation fans, because there's a game called Days Gone. that isn't in the upper echelons when it comes to the Metascore, and got killed for its performance when it first released. Yet you will find a lot of people will have it in their top 10 games as best PS4 games. I don't understand it. I love Days Gone. I think Days Gone is a good game.
Yeah.
Borderline great game. But the critics treated it just like how they are treating the Medium. But if you let a PlayStation fan tell you Days Gone is at a 96 and the Medium is where it's at. I don't understand the logic with them on why they're trashing this game when PlayStation has these mediocre games. They got Days Gone, they got Bug Snacks, which will get praised to the high heavens if you're on Twitter. They have a lot of mediocre games that are loved, are beloved, are loved by the fan base, but for some reason, the Medium can't be loved by the Xbox fan base, and that's just one thing I'm not quite understanding why that's happening.
I agree with you. It's I don't know, man. Like, I remember I posted a tweet 3 years ago. I said, it was a picture of Hellblade, right? As a PlayStation exclusive, I had 10 out of 10. And then when it was on Xbox, it's a 7 out of 10. Like, that is the same game. Because I don't believe the Medium is going to be a full-blown Xbox. It's going to show up on PlayStation at some point. I think within the next 6.
Oh, it's not exclusive?
It's right now. It's exclusive, but I think it's more of a timed exclusive. Like, they don't.
Oh,
this is not like a Microsoft published game or anything like that. Like, just like the Blair Witch.
Watch it get praised if it comes to PlayStation. Watch it be automatically beloved,
especially if it performs slightly better when after it launches with all the patches and shit like that. So, like just like Blair Witch. Blair Witch was announced at E3, I think 2017, and it launched on Xbox first, Xbox One X Enhanced and shit like that. And it came out on PlayStation, I think, like 6 months later. It's from PlayStation and Switch. And I think the same thing is going to happen with the Medium. It probably won't come to the Switch, but I think it'll eventually make it to PS5 unless Microsoft already purchased them or purchased the IP. I don't know. But it could be a game that launches on the PlayStation and they go into PS Plus and people clap their butt cheeks happy and shit. So, like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the notion that's getting, and people are going at it because they're treating this like this is like Xbox, you know, a first party Xbox game, and it's not. It's just a game that's just launched. I view it as launching first on the Xbox. If it and what's going to be the talk? Like how many times am I going to see that Metascore when it launches on PlayStation? Like,
right, exactly.
If it does launch on PlayStation, it's like it's a waste of energy right now to bash the game and whatnot. And a lot of people are like, oh, the trend is not over. They still releasing garbage. It's just like it's the first game of the of pretty much of the year. Xbox closed out 2020 with 90 and 80 like rated games, if I'm not mistaken. Like, didn't Ori hit like a 90? I know Flight Simulator's not on Xbox yet, but it was like a 90. And freaking Gears Tactics was like an 80 something. I'm not understanding. Battletoads didn't even score 60. It was like a 70. Battletoads scored higher than Days Gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes, it scored higher than Days Gone, but nobody. It's the weirdest shit. And I'll say I played Battletoads, but somehow it's like I don't know, man.
It's just like even games like Godfall. I've seen people praise Godfall and I've seen people say give it a chance. I've seen people platinum Godfall.
Give it a chance.
But for some reason you can't do the same thing for the Medium. Like just give it a chance, and if you play it and if you don't like it, then okay, you have your opinion about it. But man, it's just so crazy because I remember Days Gone got killed.
Yeah,
killed.
And I defended Days Gone for one of the reviews. I remember, I think the girl at GameSpot gave it a review saying she didn't like how Deacon talked to his wife in flashbacks because he would use it was like some like dumb like sexism shit like. Yeah. It was an SJW moment. That's that
GameSpot chick, right? Yeah. But like I said, but Days Gone is so beloved in the PlayStation community.
Yeah.
But but according to Metacritic, it is so mediocre. It is a mediocre game, but it is so praised and so beloved. And I just don't understand it, man. Just let Xbox fans do the same. Fuck if they like it, they like it. I mean, you can't tell nobody if they don't like they like the game, they don't like the game. But
bro, I had somebody.
It's just so weird.
I had somebody try to convince me, tell me that I said the tweet that I made. I was like, "The Medium's a great game." That's the tweet, right? Mm-hmm. And the dude was coming at me, trying to tell me. It was like he was critiquing why it was the weirdest thing. All right, so when I say it's a great game, it's obviously my opinion, right? But it was like he was trying to convince me that I shouldn't take my opinion of the game seriously. It's like if it's not great to me, then what is it, bro? Like, what do you want me? I don't understand. Like, I'm like, I do not understand. I was like, you obviously disagree, but damn, like if I said it's good, it's because I feel that's the way I feel. Like, come on, relax. Like, I don't know.
And most of these guys aren't even playing the game. Like, they a lot of these people
aren't playing the game. Every achievement I locked in that shit was rare, bro. Nobody's playing that fucking. Nobody's playing. I hope people play it. I want people to give it a try. I mean, it was a good month for Game Pass. We got 3 Yakuza games in there. I'm not touching any of them, but Medium was more than enough for me. I got my month's worth of Game Pass with the Medium because Medium it's a $50 game.
Oh, word.
Yeah. $49.99. Not even a $70 game. They wanted, and then I remember dudes were comparing it to PlayStation's biggest first-party blockbusters and shit. I'm like, you guys are very special.
Yeah, I don't get it, but yeah, that's just my little rant, man. I just don't understand it, don't get it, but to each his own, I guess.
And oh man, what else? Did we have? But yeah, that's the Medium, man. I definitely recommend it. For anybody, pick it up if you're like it's that. And I know the type of game it is going to be. Some people don't like puzzlers, some people don't like walking sims, and some people don't like horror or psychological thrillers. So obviously, if you're not into that, the game's probably not going to be for you. But I think they did a good job with the game.
Yeah. It sounds interesting. I mean, when I get my Xbox, I'm gonna give it a try. And I hate horror, but I'm gonna give it a go though when I get mine.
No, definitely. We definitely gotta get you an Xbox soon.
Well, shit. If I can find one of them motherfuckers, man, I can't find one.
Yeah, I keep going back, man, to try to, because I've been trying to catch a secondary one. I had to mess around and just delete 2K off my shit. I was so frustrated, bro.
I don't blame you.
Did we talk about this? Returnal got delayed. I don't know
we touched on that a little bit.
Touched on that. What else? Oh, did we discuss the game I was going to tell you about this week? And we get ready to get out of here too. Remember the game I told you that I picked up because I was bored? It was a military like shooter. It was called Terrorist Attack 2 or Terrorist Strike 2.
No, I don't know.
It was probably the worst financial decision I made as it relates to video games. I got a refund like immediately, and I'm sort of like, it was one of those games. The thing is, when I saw it, I was like, all right, this is one of those like, it's gonna be a generic Call of Duty, but super generic Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare Call of Duty, but dumb generic. That's what I was expecting, and it was far, far, far below that. It like to the point that the quality of this game, like, if you'd have to see it. I don't even think words can describe how bad that game was. I spent $20 for it, and I got a refund like 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, maybe, because I was trying to give it a real chance. I got a refund about 27 minutes into the game.
It seems like Xbox refund policy is a lot more lenient than because I can't refund shit on PlayStation though. Like I tried to refund Godfall and they was like, nope, sorry.
You can refund whatchamacallit, Cyberpunk.
Well, shit, I'm not buying Cyberpunk, so I don't know about that. But yeah, I tried to refund Godfall and they said, nah, you played too many hours put into it, man.
Oh. Wait, on Godfall?
Yeah, on Godfall. Like I beat it. I beat Godfall.
Yeah.
And I tried to get a refund, and they wouldn't having it.
Somebody keeps laughing about my Paw Patrol. I'm gonna actually. I think there's like 2 more Paw Patrol games. Realistically, if I get them too, that's a quick 2,000 gamer score to get. I recommend giving this shit a try. And it's Xbox Series X.
Can you give your son back his game? I think he's missing it right now.
Yeah, he does want this game back. No, I've been gave it back to him like I think I played this like. It was like a day. Jumanji though, I don't know. I might have to hold on to this though. It's the real characters though that they got in there. I might have to hold on to that though.
Yeah.
Any questions from the chat for me or Dre before we get out of here? We did a successful week 3. Any questions? Anything you got going on, Dre?
Not really, man. Just trying to finish up Infamous Second Son, and and waiting these 6 months, man, until I can get the hell up out of here.
Yeah, man. Are you in the apartment now?
Yeah, I'm now in an apartment.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. How far? I mean, are you still in like the same area?
No, I am. So right now I'm on the east side, and then I'm going back. I want to say up north. I'm bad with directions, but I'm going back up north.
Okay.
When my house gets done.
Gotcha. All right. So we ain't going to hold you guys. We appreciate you guys joining us on a Friday night. I'm going to go watch another movie, but before I do that, I'm probably going to go run a Taco Bell. I'm in the mood for a Chalupa Supreme. I think that's what it is. I don't know why. I'm just in the mood for a Chalupa Supreme. He said, is the next gen version of Control and Game Pass next week? It is not. Fortunately, because Remedy's in bed with Sony, we're Xbox guys gonna have to rebuy it.
That's another thing. I seen you. What's your smoke with Remedy, man? I see your little jabs on Twitter here and there. Man.
Remedy,
what's going on?
Remedy. I don't like what because it's like they put some heat on the Xbox Series S when they said they highlighted, oh, this is not the game's problem. This is console limitations because they're not doing ray tracing. I think the game is going to be it's just going to be it's 900p 60. Like what the fuck? What are you 900p 60? That's the best you can do? Really? Like,
I mean, that's what the hardware allowed them to do, man.
Really? I mean,
900.
I
think at this point, man, I honestly think that the Series S was. I understand the price point and what Microsoft was trying to do with the entryway. I just honestly think they should have just made an all digital Series X and then for $399 because it's looking like the Series S ain't worth it.
It depends on who you are. I mean, it's not worth it to somebody like me. I mean, I got one anyway. Oh shit, I forgot it's plugged in. It's not worth it to somebody like me. But I see the value. I do see the value in it. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that like obviously the X is like my console, but I feel like, but the thing is that there's developers, and I think we're gonna see it soon. That's gonna be able to show you what you realistically can do with it. I think people are really taking the easy way out with the Series S because maybe they don't want to, optimize for it. Which is, I mean, I get it. It's their time and whatnot, but I don't know, man. I just think they're like, the console is not that weak. It's and for this generation, yeah, it's the weakest of the generation, but it's not like it's capable. It should be able to do 1080p and 1440p with no problem. Theoretically, it should be able to do that. Like, so this whole 900p to all this other bullshit. They could have added some more p's to get it to 1080p. I just think Remedy just been like kind of like side talking, Xbox for the longest. Ever since Quantum Break didn't do what it's supposed to do. I haven't been really feeling Remedy. I just want them to hurry up and finish Crossfire X and get the fuck out of here, bro. Go over to Sony and start making the games that you want to make, because I don't know, like it's one studio I just want to get them to get acquired, so I don't really care who they have a marketing deal with. Get acquired, like.
Would you like it if Xbox acquired them? No.
The thing is, I do like some games for Remedy. I'm not their biggest fan. I do like Quantum Break and I do like Control. I think they're I love Quantum Break and I like Control as well. I mean, I think they're very decent games and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't like their attitude. It's like Platinum Games. I don't like Platinum Games' attitude.
After Scale Bound.
Somebody said the Series S need protein shakes.
Like another question from Mike Lowry.
He
said, what's y'all thoughts on this next move or acquisition from Microsoft? It's supposed to be bigger than Bethesda.
Bigger than Bethesda.
The rumor is that their next acquisition is supposed to be bigger than Bethesda.
All right, Dre. I'm gonna play a game. All right. I'm gonna play a game. Because I put a poll up.
Yeah, I seen that. I voted Sega.
If it's bigger than Bethesda, right? Then it's not Sega. If it's bigger than Bethesda,
it's only one company.
It's only one company. Is either one company?
Well, two.
No. I'm saying no. You're right. There's only one company that I feel like is bigger than Bethesda, or a purchase like that would have a bigger impact than Bethesda, and that's Ubisoft, right?
Okay, that's one for me.
That's
Ubisoft.
A bigger situation would be a combination of multiple studios that are, and I say the combination of Bungie, Sega, and somebody else maybe. But or if you get Bungie, Sega, and Ubisoft, then you can that's a class action lawsuit from everybody else because but what was your take?
Well, one is Ubisoft, and going out on a whim, bigger than I get the 3 would be bigger than the 1, but I think Square Enix would be thought about that. Would be bigger than Bethesda.
Absolutely.
Like I get your 3 and 1 with the Bungie, I get that, but if it's bigger than Bethesda, my only idea would be Square Enix.
All right, I had a discussion with Addict before this podcast. We were in a party chat, and he got me so mad. But I'm going to ask you this question, and this will determine whether the podcast ends in the next 5 minutes or the next 15 minutes, depending on how you answer this question. If you are Xbox, you have 2 publishers to choose from. WB Games or Ubisoft. Who do you choose? I don't know how this is even fucking hard.
Because Ubisoft would get you more games quicker because they pump out games a lot.
Yeah.
But WB has they got Mortal Kombat, they got Harry Potter, they got they have the Legos. The Legos, the DC.
Shadow of Mordor stuff.
Shadow of Mordor. Oh.
Batman. That's pretty much the DC stuff.
I would have to say WB.
Are you fucking kidding me? I don't understand that.
WB.
No.
Because they have all genres. They have your fighting, they have your 4Kids, they have your the action adventure. They have I don't know if they have a sports, but they have you covered. They have your RPGs. If you're looking for that, they just have you covered in every area.
bro.
Every genre, every area. I mean,
Bro.
Ubisoft, like I say, Ubisoft will get you games out quick and in
Bro,
bunches.
Ubisoft publishes 4 AAA titles each year, annually. They have IPs, already IPs. You don't have to worry about licensing.
Yeah.
Just imagine this, right? You know how we was like, oh, they raised Xbox Live price to get people to Game Pass quicker? What if I told you the only way you can get Assassin's Creed, The Division, Ghost Recon, fucking Rainbow Six, Rayman, Watch Dogs, Far Cry.
Yeah.
The only way you can play these games is build your ass a PC or subscribe to Game Pass on your Xbox PC or your phone. You know, PlayStation don't need to think about that. These are games
yeah.
They come out every year. Every year. If you don't get one, if you ain't getting Ghost Recon, all right, you're getting The Division this year. If you had access to this, what?
This is a matter of
you know how much time, but the thing is, Ubisoft don't have a quality over quantity problem. Each game what?
But so Ubisoft will give you the quantity because they will come out in bunches.
Yeah.
But I think because I'm reading a comment and somebody said they have Rocksteady and NetherRealm is Mortal Kombat, but WB has the quality.
Nah.
They have.
I'm not giving them that, bruh. I am not giving them that. I am not giving them that. I can't.
How many times are we going to hear about the Ubisoft formula?
Fuck it.
And how everybody's getting tired of the Ubisoft formula.
That's 5 different formulas with 5 different games, right? You're telling me as long as these studios taking their time making fucking games and shit like that, Ubisoft alone solves that problem.
I mean, I get that. You make a point. You make a good point because they will pump out them games. That's one thing that they will do. But WB got Rocksteady though.
They got all right. This is what WB got. They have Rocksteady. They have some healthy studios. They ain't got no IPs other than Mortal Kombat though. That's the problem.
They got Mortal Kombat. They got Batman. They got Harry Potter's coming out next year.
Yeah, but do they own a license? Like, is this that just a license, or is that something that's theirs that would come with the purchase?
I think it's theirs. I think
because that's the problem with WD. They got a lot of nice looking studios that will like, but all the games that are coming to fame are games that are through licensing. The only thing I would want really from them, I would want NetherRealms because I would want them to do freaking Killer Instinct. I would want, there are other studios that make other games and whatnot. I think they got Fair, maybe somebody does Fair over there. I think the people that do Legos would be dope. I can imagine a Minecraft Lego mashup, some shit like that. They could do some good work with that. But nah, I'm telling you this right now. I would have taken Ubisoft over Bethesda, and I definitely would take them over WB Games easily. I'm sorry, they just this year alone would be of what they did alone this year. I would have been like,
you're right.
if you talk,
I mean. You got a point. But I just see it as quality over quantity, and I think WB has the quality of the two. Yeah.
Well, we shall see. Microsoft did generate enough revenue to buy Bethesda twice, so maybe they'll take that money and buy Ubisoft and WB. Who knows? But I think one of them.
Ubisoft would be huge, though. That would be that would shake up the industry.
Yeah, that would be something that if you're gonna say it's bigger than Bethesda, the only thing I can think of, it would have to be a Ubisoft, EA, Activision type shit. But Activision, I think, is too big. EA is a possibility, but I'm not as interested in EA because they don't make the games I want to play anymore. They don't make NBA Live, and I don't see how they would be as beneficial. But you think about the content they sell, you would like, all right, if they make this shit exclusive, then yeah, this is going to be a problem. Same thing with Ubisoft. Ubisoft makes more so diverse games, not all reliant on like sports and Star Wars. Even though they're getting a Star Wars IP now. They make games annually that sell annually. And
Yeah.
if Xbox really wanted to boost Game Pass, to convert all their current monthly active users to Game Pass from Xbox Live and convert new customers in to Game Pass, you get something like Ubisoft and you be like, hey, this is exclusive. That's how you shake up that's how you make the industry move. That's how you pivot. You make a
shift.
That would be that would be an actual shift. You do that's what you would have to do. If they're going to make something bigger than Ubisoft, I can only see like Ubisoft or a combination of Sega and somebody else. But
because nowadays Ubisoft games are selling better than ever. So to have that exclusive, oof, man, that would be it. Ubisoft, that would be it.
Yeah. All right, man. But we're gonna get out of here, man. I appreciate you, Dre. For
likewise.
making it week 3. We will see you guys next week, same time, 7 p.m. Let's Talk Games podcast. And Dre, you're gonna be on Weapon Wheel this week, right?
I don't know. I don't know about this week. I sent BG DM.
No. You ain't got nothing to do, though, right?
I am from that. What happened?
You ain't got nothing to do, though, right?
No.
Because you had something to do this past weekend.
Last weekend. This past.
No. You should be good. I think I let them know that you were coming on this week. So.
Okay. I'll be on there.
All right. Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed Let's Talk Games podcast, and we will see you guys next week. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Hit either me or Dre up on Twitter. You can follow our Twitter handles. It's right below us on Twitter. Let us know what you want us to talk about. You want to submit some topics because I don't know if anything's going to happen. I don't know what breaking news is probably going to happen this week. If breaking news happen, we're covered. Otherwise, we look forward to see what you guys want to know. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.
See you guys later.